Hey Outofbody Explorers, I am back. So today's video is about correcting your timelines in relationships. Or you can actually say making peace with a relationship that you had, or making peace with the contract that you had with this individual. Now I'm just reminding you about the last video I just did about 222. Well, in 222, because you know you watched it, that was your homework last week. So the entire movie was about two souls meeting each other again because they had this tragic past, were murdered, and they decided to have their souls reconnect and have an earth experience as humans. That's what they chose to do. So they contracted that. Now I'm also reminding you right now, these are your lessons. We want to cover the A, B, and C grounds. So A, you are still writing your out-of-body explorations and you're writing them down. B, you are still in gratitude all the time and forgiveness. So it kind of plays both ways. Don't forget that. And C, know thyself is love thyself. You can't separate the mind from the body. Whatever happens emotionally will actually have an impact on your physiology. And that's why I did that video on feelings buried alive never die. Now let me tell you about my 222 story. Now everybody has a 222 story. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly, it's still a story. Yeah, I know, Clint, he's my man. Now I want you to know how this works. Now I basically wrote out and manifested a soul that I was going to meet. And because I live in the present moment, I forgot that I made up this guy. And the best part about this is I've been writing this down for 24 years. This person would appear and I'd be like, why are you here? Like out of nowhere. Now we're going to talk about my 222 moment with this individual that I contracted with. So now on October 20th, I do meet this individual, and this individual is working now for my cousin to rebuild his new office. And I immediately hear the voice and I'm like, I know this person. But I also know that he was with somebody, so I pulled myself back. And that's very important. You do not make that happen unless it's supposed to happen. So it ended up happening a year and a half later. So on February 2022, I see the person again. And that individual immediately looks at me and says, Hola, esposa. And now I was like, oh my gosh, how does he know? And right away, I'm in a tornado relationship. And it wasn't even a full-blown one. I didn't go anywhere, but maybe on 2 or 3 dates. It's full blast, tornado. I felt like I was in Twister and I was the cow flying around trying to grab on.
I gotta go, Julia, with cows.
I already knew about his vibrations, so I knew a couple of lifetimes that he was in because of my out-of-body experiences. So one was very chaotic, and the other was I had this little family with him, and I saw it, but I didn't even see it in an out-of-body. We finally go out to eat, and I look at him, and he's telling me about the story, and I see it all, and bam, I realized he was already psychic. He just didn't want to admit it, but he said things to me that I was like, holy cow, I didn't even have to speak. But the one thing I needed to tell him, and I told him over and over and over, I said, you're not supposed to come until August of 2022. And what I did learn about him was that he explained to me that he's an overthinker. Now I had to deal with an overthinker. I had to realize that this overthinker has narcissistic ways. And those narcissistic ways would flip these things on you like it's your fault. It's you did it and you did it. And you know, to me, I have my boundaries. I'm like, dude, no way. No consent. And the overthinker creates timelines. I'm going to show you what happens to the overthinker. I made this little diagram for you. I wanted to show you that I am in the present moment. I am creating these timelines like this. The overthinker thinks of the past and the future and has trouble thinking in the present. And I'm going to tell you right now, because I live in the present moment, they don't, and they try to create all these timelines. So when I was going back to sleep in my out-of-body states, I would see some timelines. But I already knew that this individual I met in one of the earth times of the present, within the last, I would say, maybe 50 years. And then I also met him in this Witcher time because he knows how to do the magic. I also met his spirit guide. If you notice, The past will put you in depression, and the future will put you in anxiety. So they have this twisted thought process where they can't let go of things. They have to let it go. If you notice, I wrote the present moment, now, and God. I did leave a lot of things up to God, and I would say, just show me and I will follow. But because I have a really nice connection with God, but so did this individual. I get it, but I really don't get it. To a sense, I live with the boundaries. I don't allow those kind of energies to come through. And I do pray for them. And I want you to know, because this person was such a psychic, it was amazing. In our separation, I get to meet his spirit guide, which is another video in itself. So this individual had a lot of psychic moments, and we just kept crisscrossing those paths. I ended up just walking away, letting him implode. Boom. And now, how do we correct this contract? So the words that I use, and you can use your own words, I'm just telling you this is what I do. And I say, Creator of all there is, I command you to release me from that contract. I am sending love and light to blah, blah, blah. I'm sending love and light to TJ. And I'm happy and fulfilled, and I am in bliss that I was able to fulfill that contract. But that contract does not serve me anymore. And then I'll do a Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you. All right, out-of-body explorers, keep riding those jumps because it's all about you. Until next time, press like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.